Hey, bitch. It's JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. I just came to chit chat for a quick second. Not going to take up too much of your time, okay? Primarily want to talk about Nene Leakes going over to the Breakfast Club with Miss Sierra Gates as they are working on a podcast together, okay? But before we get into that, we definitely have to touch on the fires that are taking place over in LA because it is insane. Last time I checked on yesterday, I saw that the fires were headed towards the LeBron James area. And that's crazy because I was like, dang, y'all still haven't gotten control over the fires. I don't even know where they are at this time because every time I check, they have yet to contain all of the fires that have spread. You know what I'm saying? I've also seen where a few people have gotten arrested for starting fires. It's just insane. It's insane. You know, I've seen a lot of lack of sympathy for individuals over there in LA, primarily for celebrities, right? Because we hear of a lot of people being rich, having a lot of money and stuff. A lot of us immediately go to the celebrities. And I get it because that's primarily what's and who is being highlighted when it comes to losing property. But honestly, y'all, it's a lot of regular people, okay, that just happen to have some good jobs, may have invested in their home decades ago, poured a lot into those houses, and they don't have anything to show for it today. And maybe they had money 5 or 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they may not have as much money now to be able to start all over again. Like, it's more than just losing your house. Like, these people have lost memories, pictures, photos, like memorabilia, trophies, whatever. You know, a lot of things have been lost in this fire, and I'm talking about the fire has wiped out complete neighborhoods, and it's really like, it's a bit surreal, but it's sad as hell at the same time. Like, I can't believe this is happening, but you know, back to reality, this is real, and it's really sad. And I've seen some people not have as much, you know, sympathy and stuff for some people because they feel like they're rich, they're celebrities, and they could just go and build another home. And girl, that's easier said than done, especially in this type of damn economy, honey. Hello. And then to learn that they've canceled a lot of the insurance policies on people before this happened. And I don't even know if people were aware that their insurance, their mortgage or their home insurance was being canceled. Right? I don't even know if they knew. I believe they said that you're supposed to notify people like 75 days or so out before you just cancel their policy. So I don't know if the insurance companies are operating in a way that they're not supposed to be operating. But it's really, really sad to see seeing some of these older people lose their house. They're like 80 something years old, 90 something. Lost their house. It was one man. He was like 91, I think, or 92, and he lost everything. And he says, I have to start all over. And he was on the brink of tears. And he said, but it's okay. Even if I have to start all over, I will, type thing, you know. And I'm like, sir, you have decades put into that home and everything, okay? I mean, you probably could start over depending on what your investments and stuff look like potentially. But of course, that's not the case for everybody else. You know, there was another man, I think he was like 80 something. This one was a black man, and he lost everything as well. And he was just crying. I just felt so bad. Because it's more than just celebrities, you know. I believe Paris Hilton's family lost their home. Girl, child, it's quite a few people. The next person I'm thinking about is Janae Aiko. She lost her house. She came to social media to let the people know that she lost the house, and the people was giving her the third degree, like, girl, go build you another one. And she was like, the fact that some of y'all think that I have Paris Hilton money is crazy. Like, I can't just go out and build another house like that. Like, yeah, I worked hard for my family to get to where we are, but I don't really have it like that. And some people was like, not you doing to Paris what people doing to you. You assuming that Paris got it like that. Well, y'all, honestly, Paris does, okay? That motherfucker is a Hilton, okay? Hilton is world fucking wide, all right? That lady, even if, my thing is this, even if Paris ass don't got a house to go to, that bitch got a hotel she could go to. Hello, Hilton. Hilton hotels, and ain't no telling where else, honey. So, yeah, I didn't really like the fact that everybody was dragging Janae, and because she's a celebrity, assuming that she has all of this money. Y'all, all of them ain't got it like that. I thought we discovered that a long time ago, especially during the pandemic. I thought we learned that a lot of these celebrities really ain't got it like they may have us think that they got it. All right? Remember all these damn concerts and stuff that was going on last year or so? People trying to get their money up. Everybody ain't got it like that. Okay? When you see a lot of albums drop, from those folks that was living over there in the Palisades, and ain't no telling where else in LA. They trying to get their money up, okay, so they can get back a little piece of what they may have already had. And y'all got to understand, for Janae, she has 2 children. I think her son may be 2 or 3 at this point. Her daughter is a teenager. She may have just turned 18, not sure. But like, girl, I can imagine all of the memories and things that her daughter lost. So her hurt is for a bigger reason than her. You know, in addition to that, ain't no telling what family member she had living with her that also lost some things. So, I mean, I feel like there is a bit of sympathy that we can have, despite the fact that you may think a person can go and build their own stuff. Like, even with Paris, even though I may believe that she about got it like that, you know, I still feel for her and her family for losing their house, because it's just some things that you cannot buy back. It's just some things that you just cannot get. You know, and people have been a bit insensitive, and I'm not going to really tell you not to be insensitive. You're going to do what you want to do anyway, because it's just how you guys are. Okay. But I would just say, you know, look beyond that, just a little piece, honey. I think that what you're saying definitely may apply to some people, but I don't believe that it applies to all of the celebrities, because let me tell you, these people probably was popping back in 2015, 2018 when they bought their house and could afford it. Right? And they about been able to afford it a little bit now, maybe just a little piece. Okay. I feel like a lot of these celebs live like regular people live too. You know, when you get more money, you want to acquire more things, and therefore sometimes acquiring more bills, right? So when you acquire more bills, it leaves less money that you got to do other things, and you be a little tight. I feel like that same thing happens with them. They just in a different tax bracket, but it should be tight for them too. But you know, it's a really unfortunate situation. I feel for everybody. You know, just because a person may live in a rich neighborhood, like honestly, the house could have been paid off. It could have been passed down and given to them from a relative or something. Okay, they could have inherited that. So I do feel sorry for everybody. There were a few lives that were lost in this process. Of the fires. I learned one story from this black girl. I don't know if this was her neighbor or if this was her grandfather or uncle, but there was a man that was in the house, and he learned that he needed to evacuate, and a lot of people needed to get the hell out of Dodge, right? But I think he felt like, because they've heard this and that before, that he didn't really take it serious. So he was going to weather the I don't want to say the storm, but weather the fire at home, like whatever, I'm not leaving my property. I think he could have been anywhere from 82 or 84. And so he decided to stay in the house. And of course, the fire did come. And unfortunately for him, he did die. Okay, he did die in that house. And that woman said that he was sleeping in the bed when the fires came. And that is where he is now. And I'm waiting for the coroner to come pick him up. And my thing was this, in all honesty, like, was he asleep in the bed or was he awake when it happened? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Did he know the fate that he was going to be meeting and didn't care? Because honestly, maybe for him, he may have felt like, hey, like, I mean, listen, if my house get burnt to the ground, like, who trying to start over at my age of 80 something? I'm not trying to be out here homeless on the street, struggling, this, that, and the other, fighting every day, you know, just to live again at my age. Listen, what happened gonna happen. I know people hate when they elders speak like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that was on his mind. Like, what's going to happen, because clearly he didn't leave the property. He was like, I'm staying where I'm at. I'm good. Okay. If it happens, oh, well, do what you want. I'm good. I'm here, and he has passed away. And I saw, which was interesting, after I saw that post, I get over onto another social media, Twitter, and I see some people saying, listen, if I'm ever faced with like a natural disaster or whatever the case is, don't think that I'm going to be one of the people sitting up here fighting to stay and live another day. Hell no, I'm finna go on the other side and go beat my mama. I'm not finna be stressing myself out and all. And this was like a young person saying that, and I'm like, wow. And it had quite a few likes on it, quite a few thousands of likes of people saying, listen, it's just gonna happen how it's gonna happen. I'm not going to be sitting up here struggling, fussing, fighting, trying to, you know, get a life back that may not ever be as normal for me. I might as well just go on over there and join my people. So that was interesting to see over on the social media. But I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Also, I have to give a shout out to Erica De Niro TV, because she is, from my understanding, from LA, and on her page, she has been posting like some resources and things for people over in that LA area. So I do want to share that real quick. I'm gonna share it also. I'm gonna share it on my community wall if I can. Um yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna reshare that over on my community wall. So anybody, okay, that's seeking any information or whatnot, you guys can slide over there and check it out over on Erica De Niro's page, or you can look on my community tab and you'll see some additional details, okay, about supplies, pickup center, gift cards, all of that. So some people are definitely coming together to help people that are in need out there in LA. Okay. So just wanted to give you guys that quick tidbit as we talk about the fires and stuff. But now I want to go ahead and I want us to get into Miss Nene Leakes and Miss Sierra Gates, honey. So Sierra Gates, who is of Loving Hip Hop ATL, okay, and Miss Nene Leakes of Real Housewives of ATL, formerly of, got a chance to go over to the Breakfast Club. Now, I remember being on their live last month at some point, and they were just asking a few questions, I believe, about dating and the type of men they would want or something like that. They were asking some questions over on a live that they were doing together. And I don't know if they were asking those questions because, they already knew they were going to do a podcast, or if them getting on IG Live together, having a conversation, people being tuned in, if that may have triggered them wanting to start a podcast, okay? I don't think they really cleared that up. I just think they talked about how they have so much in common as to how they ended up becoming friends, but I don't think they really got into detail as to why they decided to start this podcast. But either way, they're going to start a podcast, and it's called Me and My Homegirl, okay? Sierra and Nene ended up getting cool and close with each other because around Atlanta, they would always bump into each other and they would be solo. They would always rock solo and everything. They had some similarities and they was like, you know what, let's be friends. So they ended up beginning to be good friends. And it's interesting because I didn't know that Sierra and Nene were cool even back when Greg, or right before Greg passed away. Didn't know that. All right. Now we're seeing them together more often. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know they were cool. Like when I popped on that live and I think I was on Nene's page, I was like, oh, she there with Sierra? When they became cool, So anywho, they've been cool for a very long time now. And they are coming together to do a podcast called Me and My Homegirl, where they're going to be talking about all kind of variety of topics. Okay. So I'm probably going to tune in just a little piece to see what it's given. I'm wondering, are y'all going to do a whole little set? This finna look like this finna be a whole real thing, because y'all are definitely giving heavy on the promo right now, okay? Now, while they were doing that interview, of course, they talked to the ladies about their lives and stuff, and y'all know Sierra just recently got married. If you are a person that watch Loving Hip Hop Atlanta, then you would know that she hasn't been having the best of a relationship with her mom as well as her sisters, because of some things that took place on social media where she felt like her sisters were defaming her name and stuff, okay? She has since worked on her relationship with her mom, but not so much as her sisters. She had a wedding, more so I think at the courthouse or whatnot. She had a little celebration, but her mama was not there. She didn't invite her. But they are working on a better relationship. Of course, they got to get into Nene. Nene, of course, is the bigger star. People wanted to know even more about Nene. When I first started watching this interview, y'all, for me, I was like, oh, Nene look good. Nene looks good. In my personal, I think Nene looks very beautiful. I was like, damn, she really don't even need all those filters that she be using, in my personal. And it's interesting because she does go on to talk about that, right? And, Kenya Moore was sitting down with Kandi at one point, and they talked about giving Nene her things. And they brought up Nene with having filters and stuff and how she didn't need it. And she don't, okay? And I think that conversation came from Nene being on IG Live with Sierra, the one I was telling y'all about. And when she was on that live with Sierra, the filter she was using kept popping on and off her face. And I'm like, Nene, girl, it was even in that moment. I was like, Nene, just put the filter down. Like, you look great. You don't even need that, girl. Like, you look good. Now, I don't know if Nene has gotten additional fake face work done or any fillers. She said that she hasn't gotten any, like, plastic surgery, but I'm sure there may have been some fillers here or there. But whatever it is, Nene look good in my personal. Okay? For her, like, I don't even want to say for her age, but like Nene looks great. And I'm gonna play like 2 little audio clips where we're gonna hear from Nene talking about the situation with Kenya and the filters and stuff. And I'm not gonna say y'all shouldn't use filters. Listen, that's the new way of the world now. Okay, it is what it is. People have been complaining about filters for years, and it ain't stopped nothing. Just like it ain't stopped the girls from going out there getting them a piece of BBL and whatever else they've been out there getting. Okay, it's here. I just say don't do too, like, y'all be doing too much. Okay, now some of y'all go overboard with the BBLs, like some of y'all go overboard with the filters. Okay, especially you, Sheree, but we ain't talking about you right now. Okay, and at times Kenya more. Okay, y'all have put the filter on the 10th power. Okay, you might have to scale it back just a little piece. We need you to look like yourself just a little bit, girl. Okay, and that be the problem for me. That be the problem for y'all. Be trying to give y'all stuff a whole new something, and that's where y'all go wrong. Okay, but I want us to hear real quick what Nene had to say about the whole filter situation and Kenya Moore. So let us listen to this.
First of all, I told her that they said, I think her and Kandi were saying, let's give Nene, her props or something. Yeah, and I was like, you don't give people their props and then throw shade trees, honey. Yeah. And then she said, I was talking about the filter. Well, honey, you use filters too. I don't know anybody that's posting their pictures without a filter. Most women are posting their pictures with a filter and they're cleaning up their picture. Now, if you look absolutely different in person than your picture on Instagram, now that's another story, wouldn't you say? That's a different story, but that's not what's happening over here.
That is what happens.
And I am the filter.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Okay, Kenya Moore. Okay, Kenya. Okay, because these girls need to use filters too. Yeah, I see them in the airport. I see girls on Instagram. They look great on Instagram. You see them in person. You be like, this is the same person.
How did Kenya look at that in person at the
airport?
Well, you messy too. You messy. You just as messy. I'm like, how?
Well, I just keep it real and tell it like it is. I'm never afraid of any of those girls. She looked okay. She wasn't looking her best, but she looked okay. She could have used a hairdo and a filter.
No, you did not. No, you did not. And see, listen, guys, this is what we miss on just all of, I'll say this is what we miss on Real Housewives, okay? In general, Real Housewives. I feel like Potomac can use a little bit of this, and I hope Atlanta gives us a little bit of this, but it's just the slick shade, okay? I mean, and they were the originals, you know what I'm saying? Nene and the girls. Kenya came along a little later, but she definitely made a name for herself over there on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I love that little read that she gave her. She could have used, she said, a wig and a filter. Girl, hollering. Love it. Miss this part of Nene. Now, I'm not going to hold y'all. I was glad to see Nene go. When she left the show, I didn't like how she acted and how she showed her and how she slammed down that laptop and stuff. I was like, she can go. There was a time where I felt like Nene was acting a bit bigger than for her britches or whatever the case is. And I was okay with her exiting. All right. Not even going to hold you. But I will say I have enjoyed seeing Nene trying to make her comeback. All right. She's dealt with some things over the past few years with her husband passing away, losing businesses and things, being sued by a photographer for not paying, being sued for not paying employees, all kind of stuff, dealing with the health of her son, Bryant. She's been dealing with a lot of stuff. So to see her slowly make a comeback, I think she did something with E. She kind of hosted, I don't know if it was like a red carpet for the Academy Award. She did something more recently last year, so that was good. And I think it was with NBC Universal. And then also, she is working over there on the Upshaws, okay? So she has the Netflix deal. Not so much as the deal, but she did the show over there on the Upshaws with Cynthia Bailey. And that was nice. And I think, she's slowly bringing herself back around, okay? And I like that for Nene. She also touched on that situation too. And I don't have the audio for that at this time, but she did talk about, remember last year when Porsha Williams had, she was supposed to be over in Cali getting ready to film the Upshaws or filming a Netflix show. And I don't think we knew exactly which show it was. Nene was supposed to be a part of that show. And then Porsha was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with Nene, yada, yada, yada. All of that. And Nene was like, girl, what? You ain't telling me that. Like, I had just saw you not too long ago. And now you over here saying that? Like, what kind of stuff is that? You see that I'm just now slowly making my way back into the entertainment field like this, and you want to throw salt on my name so quickly? Girl, that's shade. See, that's why, for me, I used to love Porsha down. You can't trust Miss Porsha, honey. I'm sorry. She was wrong for that. And that's what, and Nene talked about that. But she pretty much said, listen, at the end of the day, whatever it was that Porsha did, I had a conversation with her about it. She was like, I haven't spoken to her since. She said, but I'm cool on it. Okay? Cool on it. Done with it. It is what it is. Okay? So that's what she said. And I don't think I've seen anything with Nene and Porsha since. I don't think Nene fucks with Porsha for real. But I also feel like Nene, like she said, she's not trying to put extra energy into that. She said she's not beefing with a single woman that was on Housewives. She talks to Kim Zolciak because, you know, she got her own situation that she's dealing with. Excuse me. She's talked to Miss Kenya Moore. Y'all know Kenya just recently had her issues with Real Housewives of Atlanta. They've chatted. They were once in Paris together. They were supposed to try and link up and have tea. It didn't work out, but they ended up bumping into each other in the airport. And that's when she confronted her about the whole situation of her talking about she need to have a filter on her face, okay? And, you know, with the midst of this conversation and them talking about, you know, Real Housewives and the different women she's bumped into and may or may not have had issues with, you know, of course, they ask her about whether she's interested in returning back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. This has been a conversation for years since she left the show. I don't even know if the door is open for Nene to ever return. It looks good that she's kind of back to working with NBC in some fashion, but I don't know if it's open for her to return back to Housewives after, you know, saying things about Andy and calling him pretty much a cokehead and all this other stuff or whatever. So I don't know how Andy feels about that, if he's going to be open to receiving an apology or anything and then moving forward. I mean, they did settle their situation. But I don't know. Y'all let me know. I feel like some people may be tired of hearing this same old conversation about Nene returning. Like, let's not talk about it. But she does address it. She does talk about it, and I want us to check that out too.
Would you come back? Did you make up with Andy Cohen? Is that a possibility? Are y'all in meetings, conversations, thoughts, anything?
Well, we're not in meetings. We did settle our dispute with each other. I don't know if I'll go back to Housewives. I don't know what that looks like for me, but I won't say never. If they got a check that's got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 on the end, you know, I may be back. I don't know.
When you say settle your dispute, was it financial settlement or?
I can't say, but we did settle everything.
You Andy cool now? Y'all speak no?
I haven't spoken to him. No, but I'm not against speaking to him. But I haven't spoken to him.
It'd be a no-brainer. I mean, I know you get this all the time, but it's kind of ridiculous that they haven't asked you to come back yet.
I don't know.
And the franchise is struggling.
You know, I do miss the trips. I do miss the check. I don't miss the arguments. And I felt like if I was there, they would have to put certain girls around me. Like all of those girls that are there, and I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, we don't either.
I thought.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
Is it true you ran into Kenya Moore at the airport?
I did.
Okay.
How was it?
So Kenya and I have been texting anyway, like when she went through this whole thing, whatever happened with her exiting the show, we texted a few times. I was in London celebrating my birthday. She was there. We texted. We were going to try to have tea, but we couldn't. And just so happened we bumped into each other in the airport. And so we're cool. I'm cool with all of those girls. I don't have an issue. You know, when you're on the show kind of pits you up against each other. But I don't have an issue with any of the girls. No one. Not anybody.
Did you say anything to Kenya? Because I know she was praising your looks, but then she also said you need to lay off the fillers. So did you say
Kandi and say something?
No, we talked in the airport.
Okay. And that's when she went into the conversation about the fillers and the filters and all of that or whatnot. But y'all just heard Miss Nene, okay? She ain't got no issue with nobody. She's open to talk to Andy. Andy said one time on the show, The Real, he says, listen, Nene asked me to keep her name out of my mouth. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, when Andy said that, I hollered. And I don't think he's really said much of Nene's name since, in all honesty. All right, I know he continues to get the questions. And who knows? I think at some point they might end up letting Miss Nene back. Nene does talk about how they got a lot of money over there, is what she say over there on Bravo, honey. And she says that she does think that Real Housewives will be something that will be around forever, even if, you know, some of the franchises may fall off or whatnot. And I kind of agree, because at any moment, I do feel like they can greenlit potentially a brand new Housewives show. They could greenlit something brand new for us, and we're going to tune in because I feel like we want to see some fresh faces and some fresh storylines, right? Remember, like last year or year before last, there was a conversation about them going down to New Orleans, and I'm wondering whatever happened with that. Are they still trying to do like a Real Housewives of New Orleans, or are they looking somewhere else? The fact that they have canceled or paused some franchises and some shows, I think it may be time for y'all to give us something else, okay? Pick up something else. Let let us see what else is going on. Really, instead of y'all going down there to do Real Housewives New Orleans, y'all really could have went back down there to do Southern Charm and pick up where we left off just a little. Maybe not where we left off, but check out those people. And I wonder if they are doing Real Housewives of New Orleans, did they consider any of the people that were a part of the Southern Charm that was down there as well? I wonder what they're gonna do. Aren't they revamping Vanderpump Rules? I don't think they got canceled, but I think they're likely gonna get recasted or something. But it's time for some new people. I think people are getting tired of reality TV just a piece. So it might be time for maybe some new shows or some new people with new storylines or something. Y'all might need to work on green-lighting something else, okay? Or green-lighting something else, okay? Because some of these same old people, same old arguments, same old storylines are getting a piece of tired, especially over there on Married to Medicine, okay? But, that's just my thoughts. Now, also, Miss Nene does go on to touch on, her life a bit and about her dating and whether she's not dating, and talks about her son and stuff like that. And she brought up her son because I think she was talking about how she gives and does so much for other people or something. And she brings up Bryant and lets us know that he just recently had a baby girl and how he's dealt with a lot of health complications, and so far so good. He's doing much better. But what I also noticed during this entire interview, she really didn't mention Bryson at all. At one point Bryson had been missing. I guess the probation officer was reporting him missing. At one point, it was being said that he had, stole some things. He's dealt with drug issues. He's had a kid over here. I think another kid over there. Like, Bryson has some things with him, okay? And that, I'm sure, has been a struggle for Miss Nene as his mom, feeling like she always has to bail him out and stuff. And maybe the book just stopped. I don't know if the Breakfast Club was not privy to, Bryson's latest situation, or if they were told not to ask her about it, okay? But I would have assumed that would have been one of the questions of, hey, recently in the news we did see and learn that, your son had went missing, whatever the case. Is there any update? How is he doing? Something. Because she does say, even with my kids, they just be more so like, Mama, when you gonna send me the money? But she kept referencing just one of those kids, which was Brent, okay? So not sure what's going on with that, but definitely hoping everything is going okay and well in the Leaks household. Okay. But that's really all that I have for you guys at this time. I just wanted to come and chat with you guys real quick, talk about these LA fires because it's been on my mind. And I mean, you can't get on social media without seeing it, okay? Another update about somebody losing their house, the devastation that's happened, and I just really feel so bad. And I don't mind giving, but it's some organization. I'd rather give to a person's GoFundMe, in all honesty. And even though I understand, like, sometimes that can be a little scamish too, I get it. But some of these organizations make me side-eye them just a little piece, okay? But with Erica De Niro putting that post up, like, I'm going to trust that. Somebody that she's actually from LA, I'm going to see what she put out. And then I might donate to that. I might, you know what I'm saying? But some of y'all, I don't know. I don't trust everybody, Red Cross kind of ruined it for me just a little piece, okay? Spencer and Heidi, I believe it's, Heidi Pratt of The Hills. Remember Laguna Beach and The Hills? They too lost their home, unfortunately. And, he's trying to, get his money up and everything because their kids lost everything too. I don't know if they have 2 or 3 kids, maybe more. But people are talking about how since the fire has happened, he and Heidi have become more relatable. And I haven't really been tuned in that much, but I have seen a few clips of them here or there. Heidi was really emotional and she was crying all over the place about her home and how she just wanted to go back. And people was not here for her. When I tell you her tears meant absolutely nothing to them, it meant nothing to the people, okay? Now, hold on, before we go, girl, because now I'm thinking about TikTok, all right? Because that's where I saw Miss Heidi crying, and that's why I saw the people not giving a damn. Y'all know TikTok is about to be out of here by the end of this week, unfortunately, or the top of next week. TikTok is going to be gone, and I'll be honest, I have been getting as much of my TikTok feel as I possibly can before it is completely out of here. The people are trying to identify what is the next app going to be? Where are we going to go? I've been hearing so much about, hey, we're not going to be getting on Instagram or Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, because we don't F with you. That's crazy, okay? Some of the creators are trying to come over to YouTube. You got some people like, no, let's head over to Snapchat. Then you got some people like, no, I like Blue Sky. Head over that way. And then you have some people talking about this new app out there in China or Asia, shall I say, from my understanding, overseas, and it's called Little Red Book or something, and it's similar to TikTok, but everything is in a foreign language, okay? You'll have to translate everything if you can. So I don't know, once they see all of these American users hopping over onto their app, if they're going to build out something differently to where we can understand the language and what's happening over there. But it seems like the people are looking for more apps overseas that they can hop into that's still going to give them that same feel as TikTok. So you guys let me know if you've heard anything about Little Red Book, because I got over there and I am so confused, but I kind of like being confused because it makes me kind of want to learn the language a little bit. I've always wanted to learn the language, okay, because they speak in symbols, all right? And I'm like, what does this mean? I've always wanted to learn, but it looks like it's so much that I don't think I'll catch on, even though they say English is the hardest language to learn. I don't know about that, honey. I don't know. Y'all always look a bit more harder than it's a lot to memorize, okay? But yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts if you've seen any of that, all right? And before I go, of course, I have to shout out the lovely ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, as it is our Founders Day. So happy Founders Day to all of the beautiful Deltas that are out there, okay? And also happy birthday to my mommy, because it's also giving her birthday too, and that's just on P, okay? But that's all that I have for you guys at this time. I thank you all so much for joining me. I am Jami, that's me. Feel free to follow me on social media, Instagram, as well as Twitter, as well as Blue Sky. That's it. Like up the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell them I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I could face the rim, putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it